So, this will be a follow-up video on the influencer Cooking with Kaya and also a cautionary tale and personal branding strategy lesson for young women. And by the way, if you want to hear my exclusive strategy content for women, you can find it on my website. I will be uploading over there as soon as I have some more free time. So, stay tuned and get on the mailing list to be notified when new content drops. The links are in the description box. Now, back to the topic. So, Kaya is a young woman who went viral some months back for cooking and twerking on TikTok and joking about taking men from other women with her cooking. And back when Kaya went viral, a lot of Black women were criticizing her, and there were a lot of men, and especially Black men, who were calling Black women haters and calling Black women bitter for criticizing her. But recently, she has gone viral again for supposedly cheating on her ex-boyfriend. And this has caused a lot of her Black male fan base to turn on her. And basically, they're accusing her of leaving her current relationship to get with a man who has more money.
Cooking with Kaya responds to the critics after she's seen dancing around a group of men and let them slap her backside during a party at Streamer University while her boyfriend, Zai Bron, was at a nearby hotel.
Look, read this. We talked about the situation that y'all was talking about him smacking my ass in the club or whatever, which I was unaware of it until y'all brought it up in the chat. And he just came and he said if he did, he apologized. There was nothing to do for it, and yeah.
Mind you, I'm young. And if I did, like I said, I apologize. But if I did, what did you say? What did you say?
Okay, as long as you apologize, like I said, I wasn't even aware that you did that.
Exactly.
But he apologized, y'all. That's the end of it. We won't even talk about it no more.
3 things that I don't want. I don't want to be publicly embarrassed. You feel me? I don't want to be publicly embarrassed. I don't want to be publicly disrespected, right? And I don't want her to let no nigga slide that's trying to get on that. No fucking cap. When I seen that shit, I'm like, wow, bro. And then she acting like she don't care. She didn't even confront the nigga about it. He had to go to her. He went to her because he seen niggas on it. He seen like what the chat was saying. He seen what the internet was already saying. You feel me? And it's like, bro, if I talk to you about this shit, I ain't gonna lie. Give me some accountability. At least take accountability, bro. No accountability, gang.
What was she saying though? Like,
bro, she didn't feel like she did nothing wrong
last time you talked
at
to her?
all, bro.
How can you cheat with somebody you're not with? And what did I do? Like, me and him were never boyfriend and girlfriend. We talked, okay? I said, just go establish yourself. Get something going for yourself, like something consistent, you know? At least stream. That's what I kept telling him. I was like, just stream, do something, you know? Just establish yourself. Because the reason why I let him stay is because I felt bad. I didn't want to just kick him out. You know, I didn't want to just kick him out. And then at the same time, I did have feelings for him, so I just felt so bad. Every time I would tell him that I don't want to be, like, in a relationship, he would just start crying. And I never seen that. Like, I never seen nobody, like, cry like that. So I would feel really bad. And I would let him stay. And I would, like, give him the benefit of the doubt. And I'm like, okay, I know soon he's going to get himself together. You know what I'm saying? I let months and months and months go past. Almost a year. I was respectful enough to tell him, I still want this, but I just want you to go get established. That's all I was asking for. I just want him to get established. To the point where I kept telling him, like, yo, I got so fed up. I was literally telling him, like, go hang out with boys. You have friends out here. Like, get out the house. You don't got to stay with me 24/7. Like, I don't know. I just got frustrated. It's just, yeah, I am too young. I just got frustrated of carrying the weight. Y'all, I couldn't do nothing. Like, he didn't let me do nothing. Like, oh my gosh. It was so bad. He had to come live with me. And we only really knew each other for a month. But I felt bad to speak on his situation because I did have, I'm not going to sit here and cap. Of course I have feelings for him. But I feel like he really did the most about this situation. And the way he's trying to slander my name, like I'm a whore. First of all, if I was one, that would be embarrassing for you. Like, why would you stay with a whore? Why would you cry for a whore when she says she wants you to go get established and that she doesn't want to be in a relationship? Why would you literally cry? Okay? Like, y'all, I've never seen a man cry like that. And I'm not, men can cry. But it just got to the point where it's like, dang, like every time I tell you anything like that, like you should take, like that should be a good thing. I just want you to be established. That's all I want. Gambling is not, well, I'm not even gonna talk about that. I'm just irritated. I feel like my name just gets slandered so much and I really don't be doing nothing. Like, I literally don't be doing nothing. It's just always something. When it comes to my name, it's just always something. Like, it's so rare that I see positive stuff about me. And I literally don't do nothing. Like, nothing. All the hate and everything, like, nothing affects me no more. Like, it's like I have no feelings no more.
And Kaya is crying not because women are dragging her, because that didn't seem to bother her before, but she's crying now because Black men are dragging her. And they are dragging her all over the internet. Now they're calling her cheating with Kaya, saying that she's for the streets. A lot of men are calling her a gold digger and a clout chaser. And mind you, these are the very same men who just months ago were using Kaya to shame other Black women who they felt were not domesticated or feminine enough or not catering to their men. And they were calling any Black woman who criticized her bitter, jealous haters that didn't have a man. I mean, they are really coming for her, and she is not getting any sympathy from them whatsoever, despite crying her eyes out online. And because Kaya also turned off a lot of Black women, she really doesn't have a strong female audience to fall back on and get sympathy from either. So her breaking the fantasy that these men had of her was the worst thing she could have done for her brand. And her kind of positioning herself against women was also a very bad personal branding strategy as well. Because honestly, men are fickle, and especially Black men. And I have to say that the smart Black women saw this coming and they tried to warn Kaya, because we have seen this rise and fall happen to women who pander to men on the internet all the time. And Kaya, she probably thought she was special like every other woman this happens to, but she found out that she's not. And this is what many of the quote unquote old, bitter, manless women were trying to tell her. And as a reformed pick-me, I can tell you that Kaya's strategy is not sustainable long term, because men, and especially Black men, they will turn on you for the slightest offense. I mean, according to Kaya, her and this young man weren't even together. But of course, the words from another man is gonna hold more weight in the eyes of men. And once Kaya said that she wanted her man to become established and that she was tired of paying all the bills, that destroyed Black men's entire fantasy of her. That knocked her out of the fantasy category and put her in the cheater / gold digger category. And be clear, even if she wasn't caught quote unquote cheating, if she would have said publicly that she wanted an established provider man and she was tired of paying all the bills, that would have still taken her out of the fantasy category. Black men's ultimate dream for a Black woman is to do everything Kaya was doing. Cater to a man, cook for him every day while paying all the bills. That is the dream relationship for most Black men. And after that, it's going 50-50. So when a Black woman says she wants a provider or a man who's established, that puts her in the unattainable category for many Black men. Now, they will accept it a little bit more when a non-Black woman and a racially ambiguous woman says that they want a provider man, but for unambiguous Black women, we're not allowed to want that. We're supposed to be the ride or die, hold a brother down type chick that cooks and cleans and obeys and also pays all the bills. And whether Kaya knew it or not, that is the category her Black male fan base placed her in, and the category that she created for herself when it came to her personal brand. And just a side note, if you are a woman who is looking to date, obviously it's not the best idea to publicly voice your preference for an established man or a rich man, or voice your preference for a hypergamy or a hypergamous relationship. Just show your preference in your actions and how you date, because announcing all of your preferences could be a potential turnoff for any race of men. And I'm not saying that Kaya announced her preferences. She was literally just talking about why she left her ex. But I'm just saying, as a general rule of thumb, it's best not to announce your preference for a certain type of man because men can either use that against you or they can manipulate you by pretending to be what you want. So even if you're not a pick-me that panders to black men like Kaya, it's still not wise to announce your preferences for men online because it can turn away potential suitors. And honestly, this is one of the issues with being so visible online. You might overshare or talk too much and mess up your brand unintentionally. And that's what I think Kaya did. She turned off a big chunk of her following by killing the fantasy many of them had in their heads about her. And this is why I told y'all in my last video about Kaya that the reason black men liked her is because she made the everyday black man feel like she was attainable to them. Even the black man on TikTok that I featured in that video said the same thing, and clearly we were both right. Now that Kaya no longer feels attainable to her fan base, they're turning on her and they're removing her from the pedestal they placed her on. And Kaya was trying hard to keep that pedestal. She even came out defending DDG in the midst of all this drama going on with him and Hallie. And she did that to continue to show her allegiance to black men, not just DDG, but black men in general. So she essentially threw Hallie and other women under the bus. And this is another reason why many black women are saying that Kaya isn't a girl's girl, because she does and says things that undermine other women, and she aligns herself with men to gain their approval and move up socially, which is what a lot of women do. And you could tell that's what Kaya was trying to do. And she was especially trying to do that with DDG because he's a famous streamer that has a baby with a celebrity. And DDG did publicly defend Kaya to return the favor, but the general consensus from the black male collective online, especially in the manosphere, is that Kaya is for the streets. So she might have favor with DDG and possibly some other high-earning black men in the streamer industry, but without their black male fan base bigging her up like they were before, she may not get much more notoriety than she has now. Unless, of course, a baller outside of the streaming industry scoops her up. But if that happens, I'ma tell you now, the manosphere is going to drag her for filth again and call whatever man who gets with Kaya a simp, like they're doing with Travis Hunter. I guarantee you that if Kaya ends up getting with a black male baller or, a high earning black man, she is going to be treated similar to Travis Hunter's wife going forward. And the only way that relationship is going to work is if that man ignores the niggas online like Travis is doing. But as long as Kaya is in the spotlight, black men, especially the manosphere, they are going to make her life a living hell, all because she was tired of dating a low value man. And because she was perceived to be twerking on another man at the club. Mind you, twerking is part of how she got famous and why black men put her on a pedestal in the first place. So she wasn't a hoe when she was doing it on TikTok and cooking and pandering to them, but she's a hoe now because she was twerking on some dude while her and her ex were on a break or whatever. And because he was crashing out and crying online about it. Do you see how these men will uplift women who display this hypersexual behavior and then tear them down for exhibiting the same hypersexual behavior and shame them and call them whores for exhibiting the same hypersexual behavior that they were praising before? Do you see why I keep telling y'all to burn the cape when it comes to black men? And do you see why I keep saying that trying to appease them is like being on a hamster wheel or chasing your own tail like a fucking dog? These men will literally drive you crazy with trying to meet their standards if you allow them to. And so let this be a lesson for the young black women listening. When you are male-centered, and especially black male-centered, and you brand yourself or build your image or your platform on pandering to black men, and especially low-value black men, that is a very shaky foundation. And the minute you make even a small mistake in their eyes, they're going to remove the pedestal they put you on, and they're going to do it mercilessly. And I have to say, black men are a lot smarter than black women in this regard. Once they see that a black woman is pandering to them and really not serving them as a collective anymore, they will pull the plug and withdraw their support immediately. And they are generally consistent and they don't forgive and forget like we do as black women. And they are savage with it. That's why Kaya was up there crying on her live stream. So even though her branding strategy or her social climbing strategy worked for a minute, as you can see, it's not good for the long term because she is a woman, a black woman, and her primary target demographic is black men. And in my opinion, that is the worst target demographic to have, especially as a black woman, because they will not only turn on you, but they will embarrass you, and they will embarrass you over and over and over again. And I do have a little bit of experience with this, even though I'm not as big of a creator as Kaya. But when I came on YouTube trying to be pro-black and fair and balanced and defend black men, the minute I started talking about hypergamy or held black men accountable for any harm they did to black women, black men had a problem. And even though they aren't as bad as they were back then, they're still like that now. That's why if you notice, the pro-black and red pill girlies with platforms that cater to men, they gotta walk a really tight rope. They either have to make every problem in the black community the black woman's fault and pretend that black men never do anything wrong, or they have to be fair and balanced and make everything equal. And most of the time, that's not even enough to appease black men, especially the ones online, because a lot of them are incels and they just want to be mad at women. And when I first came online, I didn't realize that. So I was trying to reason with them, but I have learned that most of them cannot be reasoned with. They have a deep-seated resentment towards women, and especially black women, and they take their failures as men and their inability to conquer white men out on black women. So when you accept that fact as a black woman, you'll understand and you'll realize that there's no possible way for black women to fix that. The only way that's going to fix that is when they man up as a collective, and I don't see them doing that anytime soon. So they're going to continue to take their frustrations out on you. And so when you're dealing with a group of already emasculated, conquered men who as a collective don't have resources, they're going to be hypersensitive to any black woman that reminds them of their condition. And of course, that's going to be black women who want providers and men who have resources. So if you indicate in any way that you want to be hypergamous or that you want a man with money or a man that makes more money than you, and you're a high earning black woman or a successful black woman, you are not going to be in black men's good graces. And apparently Kaya didn't get that memo, because if she did, she would have never said or done what she did if she was interested in keeping her fan base. And be clear, all audiences are fickle no matter the gender. People will like you one minute and cancel you the next. That's just kind of how social media is. But I will say, as someone who has been online for a decade now, women, and especially black women, are generally more fair, we're more empathetic and forgiving as an audience. Black men, not so much. And I'm not saying that black women can't be very hard on other black women. I just talked about that in my money long video. But when you compare us to men, and especially black men, we are a way better audience to have as a demographic. It just is what it is. And I say that as someone who does not pander to or coddle black women. I'm very blunt and direct with black women too, and a lot of y'all still rock with me. Now, I do feel like it's a minority of us who have the mentality that we have over here, but it is easier to build a solid, loyal fan base of black women than it is with black men when you are a black woman. And see, this is what some of the quote unquote old, bitter black women were trying to tell Kaya. And she definitely had black women haters for sure, because she's pretty and has a nice body and was getting all this male attention. That is part of why she was getting criticism from black women as well. But honey, Kaya is not the only one that's been hated on by black women for their beauty or their bodies. She really wasn't special in that regard either. And so those of us who also get hated on by other black women and who were trying to give her like some genuine advice, we were not coming from a place of jealousy. We were just coming from a place of trying to help. We were trying to steer her in the right direction and warn her about what we knew was coming. And that is what is happening to her right now. But because younger black women don't like to listen to older black women, they're just gonna have to learn the hard way. Because for some of these women, nothing we say will resonate until they get more life experience. And we all have been there. We all have been young and thought we knew everything, myself included. And any criticism that older black women have towards young black women will always be labeled as hate and jealousy, no matter how gentle you are with them. So I'll say again to older black women, you just have to let most of the younger black women learn on their own, learn the hard way, like most of us had to learn the hard way. And I did hear that Kaya lost her sister, so my condolences go out to her. And I definitely don't think she deserves to be harassed or attacked. I am just doing this video to use her as a cautionary tale for young black women, and especially those of you who post online a lot or who are content creators or interested in becoming content creators. You want to be very strategic and intentional when crafting your personal brand. And make sure you don't limit yourself to one single demographic, and especially Black men, because they are way too fickle. Now, obviously, this advice is flexible if you are anonymous like myself, because it gives you the freedom to kind of do one thing online and another out in the real world. But if you are showing your face and trying to create a brand or a platform, I recommend that you be as universally appealing as possible, not ratchet, not twerking and cooking and trying to market yourself to Black men and pandering to them, or even men in general. Find a niche that is universally appealing and appealing to all races and both genders if you can. And if not, appeal to women. That's my advice. So that is all I have on this for now. Let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch up with you in the next video.